The Prophets of Advent, Part 4. Wait, wait, take heart. Only 5 more days of waiting. Prepare, prepare. The salvation of our God is very near. Micah was born at Moresheth. The book Micah holds the 6th place in the 12 minor prophets. Jerusalem was the scene of his ministry, and it occurred under 3 kings, Jotham, Ahaz, and Ezekias. He was a contemporary of the prophet Isaiah. Chapters 1 and 3 must have been composed shortly before the destruction of the kingdom of Samaria by the Assyrians in 722. Micah begins by announcing that Samaria will be destroyed as a punishment for its sins, and Jerusalem also is threatened. In chapter 2, the prophet develops his threats about Jerusalem being threatened and gives his reasons for them. In chapter 3, he utters his reproaches to the prophets, the priests, the princes, and the judges for their immoral, idolatrous actions. Chapters 4 and 5 probably date from shortly after the fall of Samaria in 722 BC. Micah had expressed the fear that the Assyrian army would invade Judea, but Yahweh withdrew his threat, and the enemy left Palestine without attacking Jerusalem, and this is also found in Jeremiah. Micah announces the future conversion of all the nations to Yahweh, and describes the peace that will come when the Messiah comes. Israel triumphs over all its enemies, symbolized by the Assyrians. The prophet introduces the Messianic king, who will be Jesus, whose place of origin is to be Bethlehem. Chapters 4 and 5 have preserved for us an echo of the joy caused in Jerusalem by the removal of the danger. Chapters 6 and 7, the people ask by what offerings they can expiate their sin. The prophet answers that Yahweh would much prefer the observance of the moral law rather than sacrifices. The text we see here is famous. Many have it memorized. It's perfect by which to live our daily lives. You have been told, O mortal, what is good, and what the Lord requires of you, only to do justice, and to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your God. So just to recap, Micah was a prophet who prophesied from approximately 737 to 690 BC in Judah, the southern kingdom. He was a contemporary of the prophets Isaiah, Amos, and Hosea. He was considered one of the 12 minor prophets of the Tanakh, or the Old Testament. Micah's messages were directed chiefly towards Jerusalem. He prophesied the future destruction of Jerusalem and Samaria, the destruction and then the future restoration of the Judean state. He rebuked the people of Judah for dishonesty and idolatry. His prophecy that the Messiah would be born in the town of Bethlehem is also recalled in the Gospel of Matthew. See if you can find it. What he says to us today: "But you, O Bethlehem of Ephrathah, who are one of the little clans of Judah, from you shall come forth for me one who is to rule in Israel, whose origin is from old, from ancient days. Therefore he shall give them up until the time when she who is in labor has brought forth. And then the rest of his kindred shall return to the people of Israel. And he shall stand and feed his flock in the strength of the Lord, in the majesty of the name of the Lord his God. And they shall live secure, for now he shall be great to the ends of the earth, and he shall be the one of peace. We look at two other ladies today because in their own way they were also prophets. In those days, Mary set out and went in haste to a Judean town in the hill country, where she entered the house of Zechariah and greeted Elizabeth. When Elizabeth heard Mary's greeting, the child leapt in her womb, and Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Spirit and exclaimed with a loud cry, "Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb. And why has this happened to me, that the mother of my Lord comes to me? For as soon as I heard the sound of your greeting, the child in my womb leapt for joy. And blessed is she who believed that there would be a fulfillment of what was spoken to her by the Lord." What did you hear? Two happy women. To their yes, we add our own yes when we realize the mystery of the incarnation in our own lives.